Stay left, Miguel. Easy. Left, Miguel. Go Corbin, go Corbin. Up.
Get that? No.
Get wide, right, get wide. Look at Fred. Hey. Open up,
Hi, I'm here with Chicago Fire defender Gonzalo Segares. Just ask him a couple questions about the MLS. Hi, Gonzalo. Thank you for joining us today.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Cool. I want to ask you a question about the MLS first. It was established in 1996. At that time, you were probably like a teenager living in Costa Rica. I want to ask you, at that time when it was established in 96, did you hear about it or did you not hear about it until you like arrived here to play soccer in college? And like if you did hear about it, like what was your reaction, when you first heard about it?
Yeah, no, I did hear about it back home, and I was very surprised to hear that they were putting a league. I thought that there was already a league, and especially a country like the United States, and also knowing how well they did in the World Cup in '94.
Oh, yeah.
So I thought that there was already a established, well-running league, and I definitely was surprised to hear about it, that they were just putting one.
Okay. And did you take it serious at all? Like when the league was already established, like after like a couple of seasons, did you take it serious, or you think, oh no, it's just the competitive level wasn't as high as like the Costa Rican league or like the European leagues, like the EPL, the La Liga, Bundesliga?
Oh, that was the thought at the beginning. Always when you have a new league that you're trying to develop, of course it's not going to be at the level that you want it to be. But you know what? When I made my decision to come here to the States, that was one of my goals, to come and do well in college and try to get into the MLS, because I knew that it was going to be a good opportunity.
Okay, cool. The next question is, after playing several seasons from Chicago Fire from 2005 until 2009, you went over to Cyprus to play for Apollon.
Yeah.
Apollon, and then you went to play with them. So once you got there, how was the level between playing in Cyprus and in Europe and playing here in the MLS in North America?
It's definitely different, and I think for me it helped me from playing in the MLS, going over there. I thought that the level over there was a little bit better technique-wise, maybe, but then the intensity, the speed of play, and everything was way slower than how it is in here.
Okay.
So I think it definitely helped me the years that I played in the MLS to adapt over there faster, and I think because of that reason I end up doing well over there.
Okay. Also, while you were in playing in Cyprus, did any of your teammates or any fans ask you like, what's the MLS like, or how was your former team? Did they ever ask you questions about that?
All the time. People were asking me about stuff about the MLS and how the league is, and that they would like to come here and play. And I think that having players like Beckham, Henry, you put the league, and you hear about the league all around the world, and people is very curious, and they're definitely always asking about it.
Okay. The MLS is criticized among its global counterparts because aside from one thing is that when it acquires players, the teams acquire players, they do the traditional college draft, and this is opposite from its counterparts in the world, like other leagues, because they have developmental academies. All right, so some think that the idea of it is good because, hey, like let's see if at least the player in college doesn't get drafted, he at least still has a semester or two to fall back on,
yeah.
Or he still has a college degree. But also some criticize it, think that it's wrong because the players that come and develop through developmental academies, all they worry about is soccer and just playing soccer. Whereas in a college student, they have other priorities like school, obviously, work. And then they might think that time, away from soccer will lower their development. What do you think about it?
You're always gonna have mixed feelings. I think that I had the experience back home that at 18 I could have been in the first division, but I decided to take the scholarship and come over. So for me it's good that you still go to college and get an education, and then if you do well enough, you get your chance in the MLS eventually as a more mature player. So, I went through that process, and I wouldn't change it for anything. I love my experience and my time in college, and it definitely prepared me for this next level.
Continuing on the development, you played for Saprisa's developmental academy, And how would you compare that with the MLSs or even the Chicago Fire's like developmental academies? Do you think the MLS and the Fire are on the right track when it comes to developing players? Like starting from doing the whole tier system of the Chicago Fire Juniors, Chicago Fire Academy, then the Chicago Fire PDL, then the Chicago Fire, the first team. You think the MLS is doing a good job at it, or you think maybe the MLS should improve on certain things when it comes to player development?
I think that they're just starting with their player development. I think that they just have a few years doing it. I mean, when I first came to the league, they didn't have those programs, and now they do. So, I think that is definitely positive. That's how it's done everywhere else in the world. And you know what? You have good enough kids to develop, and if they're good enough, they'll make it to the first team. If not, they'll be seen by college recruits, and they'll have the chance to get even a scholarship. So I see why not. It's definitely a good opportunity for everybody. And now we got experience with my teammate Victor Pineda. I think that he's definitely a very skillful kid that had the opportunity to decide whether to stay, go to college or go into the first team. And I think that he's good enough, and he'll develop into being a very good player.
Well, also, when you were in Cyprus with Apollon, were you able to see how they did develop players, or how the developmental academies, and you can compare it to the MLS?
I didn't get to see them. We were definitely practicing separate from them. I got to see some of the kids, and I know that some of the kids in the first team were developed from their academies. So, it's definitely very similar how it is here in the States and how it is in Costa Rica. I think that, since little kids, they'll grow up into the system, jumping from a different age until, if they're good enough, they'll get picked to join the first team.
Cool.
Yeah.
Alrighty. How do you see the MLS in the near and distant future? Near as in anywhere from 5 to 10 years, and distant future anywhere from 10 to and on.
Yeah, I think in the near future, it's very promising. I think that just the way it's going, it's definitely attracting a lot of players.
Okay.
I think that definitely there's some changes that need to be made to get the league more appealing for international players, and to get the quality better as well. Sure. But you know what? I think one of the greatest moves is when they start deciding to make soccer-specific stadiums.
Okay.
I think that definitely help develop the league, and in 5 years, I'll definitely will see that it's going to be stronger, and in 10 or more years, I'm hoping that it will definitely be one of the best ones, which, now it is.
Yeah.
With the Mexican one in CONCACAF, but definitely one of the best ones in entire America, and hopefully, with Europe as well, we're for that level.
All right. And that's the MLS view with Gonzalo Segares from Chicago Fire. Thank you, Gonzalo, for your time.
Thank you very much.
Cool.